Now for the zip strap, I'm using the full body. That's the wideness of the bag at the up is 8 inches, so I'm using 8 inches. So I have 8.5 here, 8.5 here, 8.5 by 1.5. So the width I cut is 1.5, and I cut out 2 of it. So what I'm going to be doing now the leather I'm using is very light, so if you're using a light leather, you might choose to put, as you add something strong like cheaper to it to make it stand. But if you don't want that, you can use only the leather like that. So I'll be applying gum at the upper part of it, because I need to fold it down. Spread it down gently. Spread it down. I'll be fixing my lining as well. So, like I said, it's a full lining. While you're waiting for this to dry, the zip you want to use. Now what I cut out is more than 1 ruler. You can see it is longer than 1 ruler. It is better for it to be longer than it shouldn't be enough. Now my lining, based on the length of the leather, I'm cutting my lining that same format. So I'm not going to be measuring the lining. And you place the second one on top of the lining to cut the other one. You have to cut 2 of this. But if you want to measure, you can measure it. It's just the same thing you measured for the leather that you measure for the lining as well. That's the 8.5 or 9 inches by 1.5 wideness. Then you take this, you fold down, and you measure it. You make sure it is 8 inches. I folded this upper part. Now I have 8 inches here, so I have to fold it from that 8 inches. You can mark before folding so that you won't make mistake. Okay, I've overfolded it. Okay, correct. So now this upper part, you open it a bit, fold down, open this other side, and you fold down to form a V. Get your scissors and trim it off. You repeat the same thing for the second one as well. And you take your gum, apply it on the folded part, because this is where we are going to place the zip now. Now on your lining, you only spread the gum through it. It shouldn't be too much. Only at the upper part where you are going to fold down, when you're going to fold in. It's a fabric, so even if you apply just a little gum, it will stick. Now take your zip. Now watch the way I'm going to be applying the gum. Just at the tip here. The tip of the zip, not the full body, not the full zip cloth. So I can have something to hold the leather. Now take the fabric, we're waiting for this to dry. Fold it down, same process we did for the leather. Now the upper part of it you can fold down because you're using the leather to get the length of the lining. Now place the leather this way in front of the lining. Just this way, you can see the leather. It's in front of the lining. So you use it to mark. Get your pencil or biro. Use it to mark where the 8 inches stopped. So I've marked it. All I need to do is just to fold it down on that mark. Cut this out. Then this out. Open your zip. You can see where it started from. Then you turn it this way. Turn the zip beneath. Gently you place the leather on the zip. So we have this. Flip to the other side. This is what you get at the other side. You get this at the other side, while this at the front part. Take your gum, just on the zip close, at the tip as well, not on the full body, only at the tip. Your lining will do the rest. Take your folded lining, place it on top of it. Use it to cover the zip cloth. And you make sure that while you're covering it, make sure it's of the same length. Okay. So you get this. Then you go ahead and use your sewing machine to sew it. After sewing it, repeat the same thing for the second one. Now you can see the zip. It has been sewn already. I've done the zip part, sewn the two sides together with the lining and the leather at the upper part. Now back to the complete lining, the inner lining that you want to fix now. We have 8 inches here. 8 inches plus 5. 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 to give us 13. 13 plus 8 plus the second 5, which is 13. So which means 13 plus 13 will give us 26. So the wideness of our bag is 26. Now let's measure the full length of the bag. Sorry. We have 7.5 inches here. 7.5 inches. Okay, let's do it this way. This is one full ruler. This is 12 inches. This is where 12 inches stopped. Now 12 plus 7. This is 7. So now we have 12 plus 7, which will give us 19. So in total we have 26 by 19 inches of line that we are going to cut. Now the wideness of the base here is 10 inches. Don't forget that. Now we say 26. Let's measure this to see if it is up to 26 or 19. This is 12. And we have 6 here. This is not up to. Let's use from this side here. We're measuring the length this way and the width this way. We have 12. Sorry, I need a pen. Okay, this is the front. We have 12. 12 plus 7. Okay, so exact. So we have it this way. The length has been solved. Now the wideness. We said 26. So you fold this into 2 to get the wideness. Fold it into 2. Do not forget that the down part is okay, sorry, I think I've made a mistake there. 12. Okay, the length is 19, so it's going this way. While the wideness is going to be 23. Now it is not up to, we have 10 inches here, which means that it cannot work. So you have to look for a way to sort it out, which means that we'll be cutting it into 2, that is half by half. So therefore we have 12 inches. We have 7.5 inches. The base is 4 inches, so divide the base into 2. When we divide the base into 2, we get 2 inches. So 7.5 plus 2 inches, that will give us 9.5 inches. 9.5 inches. Okay, it will work. Sorry, this is 12. 12 to get the remaining part of the 12, we have 7 to give us 19. So we have the 19 in total here now. Now what we are going to get now is the wideness of the bag. We said 13, so that will be 13 front, 13 back. So this is 12. Twelve plus 1 inch will give us 13. This stop right now. Okay, 13 inches. So we have 13 inches in total now. Don't forget that I said that the wideness of the down part is 10 inches. Now, how do you cut that? Therefore, we'll make the front, instead of 7.5 inches, we'll be measuring 10 inches in total. So 10 plus 5 at the side will give us 15 inches. So that's how I got it. This is 10 inches. So instead of measuring 13 inches, 7 inches for this front, you measure the one for this base, which is 10 inches, the wideness of the base, which is 10 inches. So 10 inches plus 5 inches of this side, 5 inches of the side will give you 15 inches. So you're cutting 15 inches by 19 inches all together. Then after cutting it out, you now deduct your 13 inches from the upper part. So yeah, I have my 12 inches and I have my 13 inches here ready. So I'll come down as well where I marked the 19 inches. So I'll be measuring 15 inches all together. 12, 13, 14, 15 inches. And I'm cutting out. So this is what I have. Then I'll come down here now. Now let's take away this is the 7.5 here. Then we have the remaining part for the base. Mind you, we're not using all the 7.5 for the bag because we still have this. We have this 1.5 at the upper part of it. Now let's start our work. This is what you have to do now. We need 13 inches for this upper part. So we're going to be dividing this into 2. We have 15 inches here. So half of 15 inches will be 7.5. So this is 7.5. Then 7.5. So okay, 7.5, 7.5. Now let's take away the 13. Half of 13, we divide 13 into 2 to give us 6.5. 6.5 here and 6.5 here. Now when you're cutting the 6.5 out, you give just a little sewing allowance, just a little sewing allowance. It shouldn't be too much. You slant your cutting. The bag will slant itself, so you have to slant it that way as well. On this side, so this is what we have for our lining. Now the next thing to do now is to get the middle partition. The front measurement here is 8 inches. So we need to get 8 inches now. See the sewing. Now I've done the sewing down part here. I've done the sewing, the down part of the sewing. Now when you want to sew the upper part, you bring this lining down. Then you run it straight. Now I have it sewn round the 4 sides. Now when you want to sew, turn it to the back. When you want to sew the back, close the back. This is how you hold it. Place it this way on your sewing machine. You run it from this end down to the edge here. Now we are done with the zip. So when you open, if I open it now, you get to see this. Now when you close it, so you have this at the back. Now turn to this other side, turn to the other side. This is where you need to fix this. Now before you fix it, to measure 2.5, shouldn't be close to the what's it called, the side. 2.5, 2.5, which is for the side. Now in total here now we have 9 inches. Now instead of the out of the 9 inches now, we'll measure, okay, 4.5 into 2. Fold this and get the half of it. Just mark. Just a mark is okay. Place it at the middle. We're needing office pin here to hold this down before we sew it. You get your office pin. Pin the middle. In the down part as well, you pin it. Now, how do you want it to be? Now, see the way I folded it. I gave it, I think that's what they call piece splitting. Yeah. Pin it at the upper part as well. So we have this, we have it like this. The other side, repeat the same thing. Just a little bit of it. Shouldn't be too much. Or you can repeat the same thing there as well. Now you might decide to sew this middle. If you sew this middle, you have the opening this way. You might decide to sew only the side only and leave it like that. Whichever way you want your pocket to be. Now when I want to sew, now you can see that I use office pin in holding it, so I will remove it. Double fold this or fold it in, pin it down. So this is where I will start my sewing from. When I get to where I didn't fold, I have to fold it in before I can remove the pin. So you fold it in and sew it round where you've pinned. You sew it round the lining like that. So we have it finally sewn to it. Now the middle space. So you place this on it this way and sew it. Place it on it this way, then you sew it. Now sew the first part of it. Now sew the second part. You mark it where the lining started from, so that when you want to remove it and sew it like this, now we are removing it to sew, so you won't make mistake. Get pin it down. So I'll be sewing it from here now down to that side. It has been sewn, can you see it? So, and I've fixed the zip as well. When you come to this down part here, trim off this last part of the zip. Now we are done with that. Get the middle size, that's the middle of this, notch it. The middle of this part, that's the back, the front, this is the back. You notch as well. Now this paper is trying to pull out, so I'll be trimming just a little bit off it. Now let's get the middle of this. So this is 8 inches. This is where 4 inches is. And we need just 1 inch. So you mark the 1 inch. And if possible, you can rule a line so that you won't sew out of that spot. This is the middle here. Let me notch it as well. So I have the middle. So middle to middle. Hold it this way. So this is where I'm sewing from. My sewing starts from here. So I'll sew it down to where this top part stopped. So I'll be starting from here to sew. Let's I forget the zip. Started sewing before realizing that I didn't fix the zip. So the zip part as well, let's get the middle point. Notch. And this other side as well. You notch the middle part. So this comes this way. I guess I'll have to use gum to hold it down so that it will be easier for me to sew. So I have this gummed already. Then I'm gumming the lining down to the paper so that it will be easier for me to sew. The way it is, the fabric is pulling out is annoying. It's not too good for me, it's not too okay for me. Now you can sew it easily. Now for this, don't forget this is the back. Where you have zip is the back. Now normally your zip head should face front. If it is facing this way, which means that this zipper will fall at the front. But if it is facing this way, then definitely your bag is at the right side. So you hold it this way. This is the way you see it. Now let's gum this to this. Now it should come this way. So definitely I'm using the second leather. That shows that it is wrong over there. Now let me measure 1 inch